Bioshock 2 bringing in a multiplayer mode, you can understand why at E3 BioWare basically focused solely on the multiplayer experience. Now, all players in the multiplayer are human. There's no Big Daddy option from, well, at least not from the start. Instead, you're basically relying on your weapons and your plasmids. At certain points through rounds, you'll actually hear like Big Daddy sounds. The noise itself symbolises that somewhere in the map there's now like a Big Daddy armour, which can be used as you'd expect with Big Daddy setup, basically raising your strength and your defence at the cost of your agility and speed. The whole turret hacking thing hasn't been overlooked. You can basically hack into your turrets and they'll do attacking for you, but rather than having a mini game set up for the hacking itself, it's all worked off of like a progress bar. Vending machines are still in there, but instead of actually purchasing items from the machines themselves, in the drop trays there'll be items already there waiting for you. The multiplayer itself, something slightly rare for multiplayer, it'll actually tie in with the story of Rapture itself. While sort of Bioshock 2 is obviously a natural sequel to the original Bioshock, the multiplayer plays a sort of like a prequel. Basically you're treated to a little bit of story when you start up on the multiplayer mode, which again is a nice refreshing change. Instead of being some sort of generic character that's just tagged on a tagged on mode. Storyline wise, when it comes to the multiplayer, you play as employee of Sinclair Solutions, who've basically been brought in to investigate the side effects of the whole splicing. Because of the multiplayer timeline sort of falling in with the actual fall of Rapture itself, you'll see Rapture as it should have been, as opposed to what you actually see in Bioshock 1 and 2. They've also implemented that sort of feel into the actual interface itself. Instead of having like a set lobby with like just a list of player names, you basically got your own room within Rapture itself where you can sort of walk around and interact with things. You can listen to recordings from Sinclair himself. As expected, the more you play, the more you unlock, and it's all in your room that you actually sort out like your loadouts of plasmids and weapons. You don't actually start plasmid free. Your initial setup will include Winter's Bite, Incinerating Electro Bolt, which to players of Bioshock you'll be familiar with those. But for those that have got no clue what I'm talking about, basically your plasmids, they're like genetic mutation sort of thing. If you sort of imagine X-Men or Heroes, but these are all done through like injections. Winter's Bite's basically like a freezing attack, Incinerates your burning attack, and Electro Bolt sort of doubles up as damage and can potentially stun enemies. On top of the full range of plasmids, you're basically going to be, I'm guessing, going to have more plasmids actually come into the game itself, as well as obviously unlocking new weapons, and I'm guessing obviously your upgrades on those. Release on PC, PS3 and 360, due for around October-November time.